Well, good morning to you too, Greg. And good morning to all of you out there watching. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you watching. Yeah. And this is our guard goose, Greg, for those of you who don't know. So this morning, getting some produce ready. Well, I need to start doing that right now for Lacie to deliver to some of our customers. And we're doing a few home deliveries just because some of the normal drop-off locations that we have are closed. So we're trying to go a little bit above and beyond and do what we need to do to make sure people have the produce that they want. A lot of farms service their customers through a program called a CSA. And with their CSAs, they usually deliver to them in boxes, but we use bags instead, just because we find them easier to use, easier to acquire, and similar to the experience that the customer will have going to a grocery store or something like that. And for those of you who don't know what a CSA is, CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and it's basically when people support a farm through becoming members, almost like a buyer's club for a farm, and they pay a certain amount of money up front, whether it be each month or each season or for the year, and that goes to providing them with produce, assuring them with produce on a weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly basis. So for these orders, our customers are going to be receiving some eggs, either chicken. These are our chicken eggs here. We like to be able to distinguish between them pretty easily. So our chicken eggs are our brown eggs, and our white ones are our duck eggs. And some customers are allergic to chicken eggs, so they want duck eggs. And some customers like duck eggs because they're really good to bake with. We also add microgreens or shoots, sunflower shoots this time. Salad mix and lettuce. And I'm also going to throw in some lemon balm for these. And for those of you who don't know, lemon balm is great for stress, anxiety, and helping improve sleep, which a lot of us need right now with all the craziness that is going on. But with everything, I'm so glad that we are still able to deliver to our customers and that we have an essential business that provides food. Even some farmers markets are having to close, but it's so great that we can still do what we're doing. So these are some of our first bags going out for this season, and it's a little bit lighter, but as the season goes, they'll have more and more items available and packing these bags full. So what I try to do now is just try to compensate by giving them a little bit of extra items like eggs, or give them an extra delivery. Before CSA, we have a mini size option, we have a standard size option, and a family size. And as the season goes, we'll start having things like radishes and beets and turnips and cucumbers and squash and tomatoes, eggplant, pepper, all that stuff. And I have a lot of that outside in the garden right now, but the temperature is supposed to drop just randomly tonight and tomorrow morning to right at freezing. So I'm hoping I don't lose any of that and doesn't mess up what I'm doing in the garden right now. So the biggest concerns are the cucumbers, the squash, the tomatoes, and eggplants. The peppers aren't out yet, so we'll just have to see what happens. So we'll get Lacie loaded up with these so she can deliver them. Alrighty, Lacie is on her way to deliver those CSA bags. And for those of you who are growing a lot of food and maybe you want to start a CSA, I'm going to try to send out an email. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to our email newsletter. I'll provide some information on what we do with our CSA, and maybe it can help you with starting to run one. And also, if you're anywhere near the Concord, Huntersville, Charlotte, North Carolina area, and you'd like to be a part of ours, let me know. Just shoot me an email, and we see if you are in the area that we provide produce to. Well, it's time to get to work on the homestead. So many other things to do. So today I just have a lot of tidying up to do, mowing the grass, weed eating. But before I get started with that, I want to show you all the different plants that I have out here. And I knew I was planting them out here before our average last frost date was risky. It always is. Growing things in general is risky. But I have so many this year, and they're so spread out. I just don't have enough landscape. I just don't have enough plastic, enough fabric, different things to cover them up to protect them. So really just praying that we'll be fine. So for example, right alongside the fence line here, we planted just under 100 cucumber plants. Those are at risk from freezing. Here we have squash, more squash going down that way, more squash over here, as well as eggplant that we did last week down there. And then up here we also have some watermelon, and we do have tomatoes that are in the greenhouse that should be okay. But things are just so spread out. I'm not able to cover everything. So we're just gonna have to hope that it's fine. And I think what I'm gonna also do, since it usually gets to be the coldest around 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning, maybe I'll just come outside and check on them then and see what we can do. What you guys got there?
Ships.
Wow. Using some of my old construct toys?
Yep.
And what's that for? Is that a little loader or something?
Yep. People can just walk right in.
Good job, little builders. Well, the wind has definitely picked up, and every time there's a big temperature change one way or the other, whether it be up or down, I notice here the wind gets crazy. So what the wind also brings anxiety for me. I don't know what it is, something about the wind. Maybe I'm afraid something's gonna tear up or something.
Well, I got back just a little while ago and got me some lunch, and now I'm heading out to the garden to help Mike thin some carrots. But before that, Micah over here has already helped me water all the plants here in the greenhouse.
Not in these.
No, but you helped me water all these tomatoes over here and the cilantro that's coming up. Now, I think one of my favorite things to do is to come out here in the greenhouse and just look to see how everything has grown. Even from, morning to afternoon, you see new things that have sprouted and started to grow, and you see other things that are getting bigger and it's ready to plant and need to find a place for it. But that's one of my favorite things to do, is to come out here in the greenhouse. And you can ask the kids. Most of the time, if I come outside, it's to come in the greenhouse to look around. You coming, wild man? You gonna help me thin some carrots? Whoa. Okay, let's go. Well, I'm gonna go out here and make sure that thinning the carrots is what Mike needs me to do. So, it looks like Selah and Josiah are having a good time over here with one of the wagons. So I told everybody I was coming to thin carrots. Is that what you still need me to do?
Welcome back. Yep,
Thanks.
That's exactly right. Start with the beets first and then the carrots. So how was it getting out?
I mean, it was good. It was nice to see somebody else. Maintaining a safe distance, of course. But it was nice seeing people. And then, just went to the grocery store, the post office, things like that.
Well, what has been the highlight for you guys this week? I know a lot of us have been inside. Our our life isn't too much different, but a lot of you are staying inside and forced to do things that are way different than you're used to. So let us know, what have you been doing this week? What has been the highlight of your week? So what you're looking for in thinning these out is you want to think about the root of the beet developing and giving it enough room so that it's able to grow like it's supposed to. So you can almost think of that beet being right there. You wouldn't want anything being right in that area so it could grow. Like right here, there's another one that's right on top of it. It wouldn't be able to grow fully, so get rid of that one. So as we're thinning these, some of them can be transplanted, but I have found that the percentage that I'm able to do successfully is pretty low. I still will try it from time to time, but you really got to make sure that the soil stays moist for that beet to be able to accept the transplant. So Lacie, what you got planned? Looks like you're gathering them up there. What do you got planned for those?
Well, we may cut them up and put them in a salad, or I could saute them with some butter and onions, which sounds good. Or I thought about, I know you can ferment greens, and I haven't done that yet, so that might be on the agenda for some of these.
So there we go. We get to eat them yummy yummy one way or another.
Yummy,
So we're still trying to work out our user abilities on the cedars that we have. So ideally you'd want to avoid having to thin out your seeds. So but it is what it is right now.
I'm still trying to figure out if I had the wrong seed plate or what going in with this, because I used the Haas cedar for this, and I may just have to send a message to Travis over at Haas Tools and just ask him and get his input on it.
Because overall the cedar is really high quality cedar, and having a cedar definitely saves you a lot of effort with sowing your seed, but we just got to figure it out how not to sow too much. So after thinning out our beets here, we decided to soak them in the water just because they went just from being out in the heat and the dry air. So soaked them in some water, just cutting off the leaves right now from the little tiny root that's on there. And we're gonna take this, spin it, dry it out, and add this to our lettuce for our salad mix and a number of other greens that we have as well. So finish that up, and then in the morning, I'm not looking forward to it, but I gotta go outside because the temperature is supposed to be right at, I think we have a frost advisory, so I'm gonna be out early trying to see what I can do to keep our plants from dying. I'm mainly concerned about the arugula, and not the arugula. I'm mainly concerned about the cucumbers that we have, the squash that we have, the eggplants that we have, the tomatoes that we have. Did I say eggplant? That too. So, sorry if I said it again. And I also forgot to mention that you can grow beets strictly for greens, just sow them really dense, but we were really wanting to have some more roots crops, so out these go. Alrighty, it's a little after 6. Temperature's right at 33 degrees right now, but it's right at that point where if it just drops that one more degree, you could have frost on some of these plants. So I'm gonna go ahead and water some of the things like the cucumbers, the eggplants, and the tomatoes and the squash to keep them from developing any frost on them that will damage them and can kill them or hinder their growth. It may sound a little crazy, but watering your plants will actually warm them up because the water is a lot warmer than the air is. Even though it doesn't feel like it right now, my hands are cold as they keep getting wet. But doing what I can to protect them. This is actually our rest day each week. Saturdays is our rest day. But this is one of those ox in the ditch situations where I gotta protect their plants from dying because we need them. Well, the sun is up and I've watered most of the plants that need to be watered. I really don't have to worry about the greens, the kales, the beets, things like that. The temperature's not low enough to affect them. But with the cucumbers, the eggplant, the squash, things like that, I do have to worry about it. You do have to worry about it. But as you can see here on this kale here, frost was starting to develop. But like I said, the kale will be fine. Now, I'm not 100% sure that I got all the plants, but I did the best I could. So we won't know until probably later today or tomorrow, just seeing how the plant responds, if I was able to protect them all, but hopefully we did. So just some of the things you have to do when you're homesteading and you live on a homestead or a farm.